Taibah Podcast Show. Taibah Podcast Show.
Podcasters, we're going to talk about dissecting the role of parents in deciding their children's careers.
Hi guys, my name is Sally Sophie Biata, year 12.
Hi guys, my name is Sakwa Shalin, year 11.
Hi guys, my name is Chichancho and I'm in year 11.
Hello everyone, my name is Isaiah Senyonjo, I'm in senior 6.
So, as I previously said, the topic of the podcast is talking about how involved parents are in their children's careers and decision making. We're going to talk about everything from how your parents influence your career decisions to how much say they'll have over whether you eventually become successful or not. So, the first question I'd like to ask you guys today is, what do you want to be when you grow up? The most important question. And why do you think you want to be what you want to be?
Personally, I'd like to be a dermatologist. Not only because AI can't take my job, but like, if I do dermatology, I have dermatologists as relatives, and I've seen my uncle. He actually developed Clabane, the brand, and he's making money. So I told myself, if I start out young, I study hard, I do dermatology, I do a whole cosmetology line, set it out there, I'll get my money and retire by like 50 sharp. Because initially I wanted to be a mom, but not in this economy. So, yeah.
Well, personally, let me not lie to you. I know I want to be a doctor, but I don't know like which doctor I want to be, yeah? I just saw people in white coats looking like sharp and everything. So now, I'm just going to study the subjects and I'll figure out from there. Shall see.
Okay, so I want to become a pediatrician, a doctor for kids, and the reason I want to become a pediatrician, okay, I remember one day we were downtown, yeah, and we were like walking, and then I saw these like babies on the floor, and then I was like, oh, I could work on these guys for like free, yeah. And then the dream to become a pediatrician came to me. And I was like, wait, what if I study and actually become one? And other things are looking. I'm also looking at, I'm looking at software engineering, you know, it's like a backup, yeah?
But complaining about chemistry now.
Yeah, wait, it only gets worse.
It's not nice, but sure.
I, on the other hand, I really desire to be a pilot because I love traveling and yeah, you get to get different experiences everywhere you go, meet new people, your crew and all.
For free.
Yeah, it's basically that. Get to have a good time.
Okay, good.
Give me that discount.
Yeah, I hope you know we'll be flying for free soon.
Yeah, soon.
Do you guys think your parents had any influence over what you wanted to become?
Yes.
Why do you think so?
You know how you go to kindergarten and they tell you career day? So my dad is a singer. I wanted to go as a singer because I love my dad. And my dad told my mom, go to the doctor, go get a doctor's costume. And I saw like, okay, I have an uncle who's a doctor, an auntie who's a doctor, and I was like, it's not a bad profession because I see where they are now. But now I think to it, it's been instilled in my mind from like a really, really young age. So I guess I grew into that.
Personally, I don't think my parents influenced me. They were just like lucky on it, yeah? So like one day I just woke up, like 3-5, I just woke up and I said, that's what I want to be.
And you've stuck with it
I've
until
stuck
now.
with it, but that's not on the subject.
Oh, no, my parents, my dad usually tells me, it's like, you know, it's up to you. I do not get to decide what you want to become, yeah? What you love is what you're going to become, yeah? But like growing up, I saw a lot of medicine in my family, yeah? Like my auntie is a doctor, my this is a this. And I was like, oh, this is actually, you know, pretty nice because, you know, you're caring for people, like all that. And I also wanted to work on my parents when I grew up. And then, yeah, it kept in me. And I first wanted to become a general doctor. And then when I grew up and I kept on seeing how things actually are, like things are not easy out there, yeah? I was like, you know, why not? Why not become a pediatrician? So I don't think my parents had a very big thing to do with it.
You know what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Free child healthcare.
I'm also hearing free child care.
Yeah,
I'm taking
yeah. That's the plan.
Skincare, I'm hearing free holidays. I'm taking
Free flights.
I, on the other hand, I don't think my parents really had an influence in what I want to become, because the goal was to become a doctor, but as time passed on, my dad kept telling me, embrace yourself, find yourself. What do you want to become? What do you think would be best for you? And that's why I picked up wanting to become a pilot, because I loved what they do. And that's how I got to this point of choosing that path.
I think for me, it came from, I forgot to share. Actually, I forgot to share. It reminded me. When I grow up, I want to be a lawyer. So, I forgot to share. I think my love for the law came from my mom. My mom worked in law for a very long time, both publicly and privately. So, I think my love for the law came from there. And I think because I look up to my mom in every other way, and people are always telling us that we are very similar, subconsciously, it put me towards that path. And I think the older I grew, the more that I knew that I wanted to be a lawyer. Because when I was younger, it was just a background thought. I always thought I would get into something more business related, because that's always been my favorite subject in school.
Men usually take business all the time. Like boys in high school, you see them going and studying business, and you're just asking yourself, if all of you...
business playing. You know this thing, forex trading. Guys are studying it from... You're saying year 9, someone is studying.
It's not even... If everyone is doing it, then how are you going to bank off it? It's like medicine. If there was only one type of doctor, doctors would be poor.
Yeah. It's just like farmers. Okay, but I'm not saying they're poor.
farmers.
We're going to come back to suppers opinion on farmers. It seems to have something specific to say about farmers. But like I was saying, I think my mom kind of subconsciously pushed me in that direction without me even realizing it, just because of how much I look up to her as a person. And I think that our parents tend to have that effect on us without us even knowing it, because they are first form of socialization. They're the first people that we meet. They literally raise us. So we have this tendency to look up to them or to want to be like them in specific ways.
And again, genetics.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah.
Genetics?
Genetics actually has a lot to play in how you think in life, and you'd be shocked. You're actually way more similar to your parents than you think, and that's just because you share blood.
I'm scared.
Can you guys think of an experience from your very early childhood that has had any impact on your career decisions? Whether it's a past career decision or even what you intend to do now in the future. Can you think of anything in the past that would have had a direct impact on that?
My parents got lucky with me and dermatology because I have really bad skin. And as a kid, I wore a hijab. Yeah, I wore a hijab in school because I got insecure of how my skin looked. It looked almost like a frog because I have eczema. And I have a really bad kind that peels off in large chunks.
Can I ask where this eczema is?
My research worked. My research paid off.
Because you're saying you have really bad skin that
But we're not seeing it.
Yeah,
that's the truth.
guys, I'm studying and I'm practicing, and you can see the results.
Okay, oh, understood.
Yeah, so as a child, it was everywhere, like my back, my neck, my arms, what. That's why I really hated the sports uniform, because my socks weren't long enough to cover my knees, and my knees were also a really bad spot. And my uncle, my mom's cousin, he's a dermatologist, Dr. Malik. It was when, I feel like I was a test subject, like low-key. It was when his brand was still being brought up. He kept on trying things on me. They worked, they really did. And I don't think I've ever taken pills for my skin. And that's usually what I see people doing. Like when you go on TikTok, what's like, collagen. Oh my God, this is healthy. Like, I wouldn't want to swallow a pill for my skin. It just doesn't make sense.
Interesting.
Well, for me, because I grew up in an estate, like a neighborhood with many people. So now, us as kids together would go outside at like around 4, we play. So now, in all this playing, we'd have moments of when someone would fall down, someone would like really hurt themselves. And me being me, I would be like, okay, come to my home, I for you some little salt water and everything. So yeah, I kind of just started like that, and from that I just kept building it from even my relatives that are doctors. So they would teach me like other things. So from then on, yeah, just kind of proceeded with it.
It makes more sense. People would cry and offer them water.
Oh, I feel like mine started off small. there are some evenings, okay, almost every evening after school, we used to go and see this preacher of ours, yeah. So when we reached there, she was also a nurse. She had like a pharmacy, and when we reached there and they were like in praying, she would tell me to help her make. You guys know these things they put in medicine, the white things you put in then after. They are like peppers. I don't know what they are called. Like, okay, you put in your medicine, yeah. So she used to tell me, okay, you help me make them, yeah. Yeah. So when like the rest are doing their things, I used to be making them, and I used to be looking at the medicine. I'm like, oh, what is this? What is this one used for? And I realized there's actually a lot more in medicine. Okay, it's not just I'm a doctor, yeah. There's actually something more in it, yeah. So I kept on investing myself. You know, most of the times when I had nothing to do, I used to go there and I help her make them. And then she kept on teaching me about medicine. And I think my love came from there actually. And yeah, it continued to grow until now.
I think that's a good story because it shows how.
That's a positive impact.
Yeah, it shows how even people who aren't our parents can have a big impact on what we do in the future.
Yeah.
True. And on my side, I remember when I was younger, because remember they wanted me to be a doctor. No, there's always when you're waiting in the lobby in the hospital, you're waiting for that one person, that one doctor. They walk in, they look so cool, and you're like, yeah, wow. But then it reached a point where when I was younger, I think 9, we were traveling and we were in the line, you know, getting ourselves checked and all. Then I looked to my side, I just felt something changing. Then I looked to my side, I see pilots walking by, you know, with their cases and all looking all cool. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to be a doctor when these guys are way cooler. You know, I just had to transfer there, and then I was like, Daddy, that's what I want to be. I want to be just like them. And he was like, okay, if you can't, take it on.
Now that okay came from a place he knew he'd get free flights.
I think he had the same intentions as us. I also wanted to ask you guys if you think that parents are always a positive influence. Because as much as we seem to have positive experiences, I know there's a bunch of people who have negative ones, whose parents want to push them in a certain direction, maybe because it's what they're doing, maybe because it's what they think will make money, for whatever reason. In what ways do you think parents can have a negative influence on a child and what they eventually become in the future?
Okay, I'm not going to say it's a personal experience, but from someone that I know, their parent told them that you do this course because I failed to do it.
Wow.
Their time.
Wow.
So I said, if you want to do anything else, first do medicine. First do medicine, and then I'll pay for you whichever course. And happy the child she is, the good child she is, she said, okay.
Even that guy who studied law and gave the degree to his parents and went back and studied art, that actually happens.
That goes to show how sometimes people are pushed in a certain direction that they don't want to go because they are parents. And you know, it's hard to argue because parents are fees payers, you know. But I feel like, especially for me, my parents have always been very supportive. But I have a lot of friends whose parents have made them lean in a very specific direction, and you can see that it's not working.
I feel like parents usually push you to corporate or medicine, just somewhere where...
Something more traditional. I feel like they have an affinity to push you towards traditional careers or...
Like ethical, ethically upright. Like they'd see and, my son's a lawyer.
My son is a doctor, that's right. Yeah, to claim me. My son is a doctor, right? But when I was younger, I remember I had a lot of interest in IT. I used to be the, can he fix it kind of guy. They'd call me when the TV has a problem, when something is not working, and even if it's the most simple solution ever, I'd be like, I'm the guy. But then I reached A level and I looked at things, and I was like, no, this is not the place for me. I don't think I'm going to end up
The
here.
curriculum messed up chemistry for me because it was more of essay writing, and I'm good with my words until I came here and
you were writing essays in chemistry.
yes. The only equations we saw was more concept, in which more concept is cancelled from the curriculum, like to get into depth with more, at least for my year, because we were the pioneer year, so there are a lot of mistakes there. I saw more concept in that unit paper. I know I failed. Anyway, it was more of essay writing, more of how do you manufacture copper, how do you refine copper, and you have to write essays about it. Like there's really little chemical equations. I came here with my big head prideful. I'm doing BCP. I saw mechanisms. I sat down.
And how do you feel like that will affect you in the future and your love for dermatology? Because obviously dermatology is a subject that's or a field that's very reliant on chemistry.
My love for biology is the only reason I'm still studying chem. I agree. It's the only reason. Biology is like so beautiful. It just makes sense.
I wanted to ask you guys if you believe that children really understand anything about their careers, especially at a young age, and how you feel like the understanding that children have of what they're doing or what they're going to do in the future can shape what they want to become, especially at a young age.
I feel like they understand. Okay, from a young age, some of them do understand, yeah? Because there are these kids who are like, I think, born very smart, yeah? Like when they see something, they want it, yeah? And they're going to do everything to work towards it, yeah? So like me, personally, yeah? I saw it and I was like, I'm going to work towards this until it reaches. So there was a point where I picked interest in law. Because I used to watch things like Judge Judy and I used to be like, damn, how do you start? I was like, how do you even start reaching there? So I used to look at it. I used to look at her, and there was a time I told my mom that I was interested in law, yeah? And then my mom was like, oh, but that would be a good thing, yeah? Because I wanted to do law when I was still a child, but then it didn't work out, yeah? And then when she said that, I started reconsidering. I'm like, maybe still
Sounded
law.
like a trap, eh?
Yeah, I was like, should I continue with my childhood dream or should I, do what my mom wants me to do, yeah? But then because I was still focused from my young age and actually knew what I wanted, I was like, let me continue with my medicine path. Yeah, though sometimes the subjects can look bad, eh? But then we have to keep our eyes at the front,
I
eh?
feel like things make sense in uni. Because
Yeah.
now you're in uni,
Let's
because
hope
now
so.
you're actually seeing where everything you studied is applied.
Oh, we're going to have to find out.
Anytime now, man.
So I think this is a good point for us to conclude the first section of our podcast. We've talked a lot about our experiences in childhood and how they're shaping our careers in the future. Make sure to stick around because we have another segment coming up where we're going more into depth about parents and their effects on children in the future. Thank you. Hi everyone and welcome back to the podcast. When you left us, we were talking about the intersection between children, parents, careers, all of that good stuff. So
I didn't get over that farmer comment.
No. Okay, I didn't intend for it to be.
Girl, I actually want to be a farmer, not as a main thing, but like as a side. No, I wouldn't say side hustle because to be a farmer, it's expensive.
Okay, yes.
I didn't mean that they were poor, but like I actually mean like it's a career that everyone can boast about.
Being a farmer
career, that's what I was saying.
Uganda makes most of its money based off agriculture alone.
that's true.
This country, the backbone is agriculture. Personally, I'm Uganda. My people farm. That's everything. That's all we do, farm. And I don't want to be tribalist. I shan't say, but people were like from history, cows, plants, what, like yeah. So I remember I did agriculture in my S3 in Gayaza, and that was the only time I did agriculture. I did S1, S2 food and nutrition. I was like, I'm not gonna cook. I already know how to cook. I've left cooking, and then I studied agriculture. And I fell in love with it because it's expensive it's like you put in a lot of money but you get more back. For example, saffron is the world's most expensive spice and it's just dried up leaves. It's just dried leaves. And people are making billions of saffron. And then again here in Uganda, I went to a strawberry farm and it was as big as this room, the farming area. But this babe makes like 50 M. On a good day, on like a good market trade.
You said day. Like 50 M per
Okay, like
day.
I'm not sure per day because obviously the things have to grow. But I feel like when she sends them all out at once, she gets back revenue. That's just so
But
shocking.
that's just luck.
That's
Farming,
not.
it's luck.
Okay, it's a green
Not
farm.
everyone makes money.
Not
from
everyone
farming.
makes money from farming.
Put the luck aside. I personally think if wanted to do farming, I would do it when I know I'm successful, like I've reached a point where
I feel like farming would be after everything.
yeah, and at a point whereby I know I have what I have, so I would invest in farming, not just for myself, but to help people, those that needy, and yeah.
No need, man. Just go to the market, pick one bean. She won't notice, plant it, and then go back and sell them to her.
Okay guys, so now I want to talk a bit about the kind of careers that were encouraged or discouraged in your home. I think I can start this one off. My dad is very, 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 very supportive of me. I'd like to say that, Dad, if you're seeing this, no hate towards you. He's very supportive of me. But a few years ago, I expressed a desire to take photography more seriously and to push it towards that kind of side of making it a career for myself, right? Because obviously, such courses are offered at university, like photography, videography, film. They're there. But my dad really, in an unkind way, let me keep it PG and say in an unkind way, expressed his disappointment with that option because I feel like it's more of a non-traditional or more unorthodox, creative kind of career.
Art than a career.
Yeah. And in his words, it's a hobby more than a career, right? So it's a hobby more than a career. So do you guys have any similar experiences where you feel like you present something to your parents and they're leaning a certain way in terms of a career that may be different from you guys?
I think it's like a mindset, yeah? Okay, personally, my parents have never told me, oh, don't be this, yeah? But like the way I've grown up, I know I can't just walk up to my parents and be like, oh, Daddy, I've made up my mind I want to be a YouTuber. Like, I cannot do that. Like I also be there, hey, what's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube. And they're like, bro, I just think about all they have spent on me. And I also think about, their expectations of me. Yeah? So I feel like sometimes that actually determines my career. Yeah? I think of the expectations. Okay, even if they don't tell me, I can just, it's like as if I still see it, I even understand. Like
Yes,
some things, like some,
vibe, it's fear.
because sometimes I watch movies and I listen to like the songs in the movies, yeah, and I'm like, these songs could have been better, yeah, and like I randomly sit there and I, start writing, I start writing and like finding bits of the songs. I'm like, if I introduce this, maybe this could even get me money. But then there's no way I'm going to start telling them, I'm going to become a songwriter, I'm going to become. I just feel like it wouldn't make sense, even if they don't tell me do not do this. Yeah.
I feel like I come from a very diverse home. My dad does music, my mom's a baker, my brother's a footballer, and I'm studying. Exactly. It's so diverse, so I can't specifically say there's a career path they've told me not to take. Like, yeah, they've always pushed for medicine. At some point, I also did want to indulge in law, but that's just because I'm argumentative. And I realized
I feel like as a kid, if you're argumentative, everyone kind of like yeah.
Because I'd argue with big people, like a kid this short, and I'm arguing with an old man, and I feel like I'm right, and there's nonsense spilling out of my mouth, but I felt like I was right. I feel like the only career I've brought up is, okay, it's not even a career, it's just being a housewife, because I really do. Kids these days aren't being raised by their parents. I don't want my children to end up like, oh, my mom, she doesn't spend time with me.
So you said that you brought it up to your parents. What were their reactions? Because I can't imagine my parents.
I'm sending you to school to study. You're going to do something. You're going to get a job. And my dad was like, I've never actually brought it up to my dad. I'm actually scared of bringing that up to him. Hi, Dad. I'm actually scared of bringing that up to my dad, because my mom was a housewife for a good period of time before she started her bakery business when I was around 9. But in that time period, okay, it was tough, especially if you're a young mother, you're handling kids, and the kids are big-headed. It's tough. Yeah. But then again, I lean more on motherhood, on like being a housewife, because if I didn't grow up with my mom, I'd be so morally bent. People always come to me and they're like, do you live with your father as you're humble? Like, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. I know very many kids of singers who have the same interests as me. They're into art, they're into photography, they're into like the calm stuff. But then when they go out in public and they try to interact, they're like, aren't you so-and-so's kid? Don't you go for concerts? What? For personally, I'm not going for Gabzi. I don't want to go for Gabzi. Yeah.
I would have wanted to go.
No, it's not. It's just so many people, sweat, and then again, my phone is going to be stolen. What?
Put it like this.
I'm not going to be like this at a concert. No one does that.
I think, personally, it's been weird, I'll say, my A-level journey at least, because I think I've switched what I want to do it like 4 times.
Crazy.
In 2 very small years. I feel like it's hard to be decisive especially because, you know, obviously after, whether it's Form 4, Year 11, after you finish your O-level and you have to now settle down and narrow it down, right? You can tend to get in a position where at one point you wanted something, but then you sit down for 3 months, you try it out, and then you don't really want it. I think you'll see it a lot in like Year 12 and Form 5. Someone will start off doing PCM in week 1, and then you cancel in the third month of the geography, music, and history, and you're like, what are the But I feel like there can be a lot of pressure on kids, especially coming from their parents.
I wanted to do writing at some point in time because I have a gift for writing. That's why I said those chem papers came like chips to me because I just write. So I wanted to be a novelist for a good point in time. I was like, yes, I actually wrote like 3 novels at home, but to this day I shan't publish them because I don't know. I feel like maybe if I wasn't if I wasn't under like a public household, it would make more sense.
Because you'd be under extra scrutiny.
Yeah, they'd be like, she's just doing it because her dad wants extra attention and what. And like, it's actually a really. My dad doesn't even know I write. Like, that's how personal it is.
I think he knows now. You guys, I want to talk about whether you believe parents have the right to control people's careers or their children's careers, or whether they should just act as a guide.
I think they should. Because they're the fees payers at the end of the day. They're the ones making money and they've had the experience.
But you're not going to do that job.
Exactly.
No, but it still doesn't matter.
It's about the passion, you know?
The passion. You might have the passion, but where is it going to lead?
And also we have to be realistic in the sense that majority of people who end up going into careers that aren't advised by parents usually start from the creative side. You'll hear a success story that's 1 out of a million. There's struggling artists left, right, and center. There is struggling photographers, struggling anything, novelists. I feel like parents should, to some extent, should be allowed to, because to them you become like an investment after some time. As much as they love you, there's time, there's money, there's so much that has gone into you and your school life, right? So for a parent to be able to decide what career you have, it doesn't sound like the most outrageous thing to me. But then again, I feel like it depends on the type of parents you have.
I feel like they should guide. Because, personally I've seen parents, they are still in this local mindset, like they have refused to move forward, So you tell them something and they're like, how is this going to take you, what? And for you, you're seeing a future in it, you've like done your research and they're like, man, this is not going to take you anywhere, what. And you're trying to tell them that, it's like the modern world and everything. You have to adjust because very soon some of these things won't be there because of this whole AI thing, So you tell them that and they're like, no. So once they decide that for you, usually actually kids fail intentionally, They tell their parents, mommy, I want to do law. And the mom is like, no, I want you to become a doctor, And then they go ahead and then they're like, you know what, let me fail these things so that my mom allows me to change. But some parents are also hard-headed. They'll be like, you're going to repeat the year if you don't pass, So now you're forced to pass and you're forced to do what you don't like, and now you don't have the passion for it. So even if you're like successful and all, you still don't feel like, you're actually doing something you wanted to do. So I feel like they would rather guide than tell you do this.
So wait, you'd rather be, not everyone, is successful from doing what they want, but so you'd rather be poor than be successful?
No, I'm not saying that.
That's what I've got.
No, you're getting the wrong thing, What I'm saying, is, first of all, when you have passion for something, you work towards it, Let's say you're like saying, I want to become, what do you want to become? I want to become a lawyer. And your mom is like, no, but then your mom still, says, okay, you just go ahead, but you don't have their support, You're going to mainly work towards it to show your parents that
like
I can actually do
prove,
this, and it can actually bring in money to me, So it's not about being poor, it's about, I think, the passion and the mindset. When you put
It's a half for me because I stand firmly by the belief that children are individuals the moment they are born. You can't force something onto them that they can't fall into line with. So I feel like children should have as much like leverage to pick a career, but parents, I'm really on the parent side for this because in today's world there's so much S-work, online, real life, and no one talks about it because it's like, why are you talking about it? It's okay, Africans don't like to talk about things that are hard to talk about. Because now prostitution, we don't talk about prostitution with our kids. You get shocked when your kid is selling her body online. Like, no one talks about it, and it's the Western world that encourages these things in Africa specifically. Because you see people making money on OnlyFans, and then you're like, Dad, I'm going to drop out of school and buy a Ferrari. And the girl actually buys a Ferrari. You're also telling yourself, I can't buy a Ferrari. Like, medicine will take me years and years to perfect until I get that Ferrari. Yeah. But all I have to do is take a picture and so I feel like it's really a half-half situation.
Most times, in most cases, whereby when parents want to push someone into a direction they don't want to go in, it's because they see at some point, it's okay, it would take you somewhere, yes, but then what did you build to get to that? Why did you like all of a sudden want to become a lawyer or something? Because maybe like for my case, I told you I now want to become a pilot just because I saw some cool guys walking past. And they agreed to it because it's a valid thing, so why not? But then I feel like if you have something that you've always based on from the beginning, like let me say I look up to my dad, I want to be a politician or something like that, they will encourage you and push you for that.
I love politicians so much. They make my life so interesting. I want to marry a politician just for the drama. Like, imagine, like, you see how our president is currently rerunning? I feel like his wife sits down and then like they be talking over breakfast or afternoon tea. And
the fact that they're both politicians.
Yeah, thank you. And she can be like, and there's someone at my workplace, they're trying to implement, like I've not already introduced that. And then I feel like he'd implement, I was like, this guy thinks he has a chance at being president. Like, cause Museveni, my dad would beat me. Mr. Museveni, or our president, I don't know how to address him. My dad holds him in his excellency, holds him in high regard. So he's lucky the backbone of Uganda, because he's been here so long.
That's true.
I think it's my mother who was born in his my mother was born in his reign. I was born in his reign. All her children were born in his reign. My dad was born 2 years before his reign. Like,
Can't imagine Uganda without
Museveni. It would be such a shift. It would be so different. But then again, imagine marrying a politician that overtakes Museveni. That's drama in the house.
Do you guys think? Just to wrap it up, lastly, we can talk about non-traditional careers and the role they play, especially in Africa. Actually, let's keep it local, especially here in Uganda, because we have first-hand experience. I'm talking about careers like content creation, gaming, the music we had talked about, things that are very non-traditional. Or leave alone music, because musicians have been around forever. But some of these careers are relatively new, like content creators, like gamers, right?
I like content creators so much because they've pushed away the perspective of Africa is poor. Africa doesn't have this. They're just showing that Africa isn't poor, it's diverse. Like, there's a difference between the poverty line and the diversity that which we have. Because these guys be going on safaris, or maybe they just go shopping. Like, they do anything. Like, they live their normal day to day, and we look at them on our phones and we're like, I do this on a random Tuesday. But some, I'm gonna say Karen, because that's the term. A Karen in USA would be like, oh my God, there's Lululemon in Uganda. Like, they just get shocked for the most random things, the most common things here.
Kind of like they bring awareness as to the fact that we aren't poor and struggling. Or not all of us are poor and struggling, you know?
But that's kind of bad because now countries like Congo and Sudan,
They actually struggle. Okay.
with a war.
Yeah, with a war. That's what I meant.
I feel like the non-traditional careers have actually helped out in like countries like Uganda, because growing up I didn't know even of anything called software engineering. I just knew that engineers go under the car and they like fix things. And whenever they used to
Engineer was this year.
because I remember I have a family member, he used to tell me, and become an engineer, and I used to picture him in an overall, like a blue one under the car, coming back home with all that oil and everything, and I used to be like, oh, why does he want to become this? And when he grew up, he realized there's also a sector of software engineering, so he got a lot into coding, into what, you wake up in the morning, the first thing you're seeing is him on his laptop doing, and you're like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm making a website, I have to make money in this and that. And then I realized that, software engineering actually brings in a lot of money, because it makes things very much easier. You know, instead of like going to a shopping place, you can just go on an app that someone actually designed, and you order your things and they actually come to you. So I feel like, you know, it has actually helped out a lot in, we talked about Uganda, yeah, in like Uganda. Yeah.
Yeah, the downside to shopping like AI.
Yeah.
You guys, okay, I'm a big anime fan. Do you guys know Studio Gilby? Yeah. Like, okay, it's I don't know if it's hand drawn, but they put so much effort and detail into the cartoons and everything. And then recently, I think there was a movie, an AI movie released, and it was just so wrong. It was so good. Like, it was so wrong. The AI movie, it was so wrong. First of all, third hands can be popping up out of nowhere. And like the detail isn't as enticing as someone who's actually putting that effort. It's just...
I feel like that's a big thing, and especially going forward, we have to be careful and look at the careers we're picking and how replaceable they are by AI, and the role that AI plays in our daily lives. And I feel like our parents are also now starting to get a bit shocked by AI and be like, oh, is this career future-proof? What's going to happen to my kid? And all of that.
Realize parents no longer say, it's that phone, because kids are making money on that phone.
Yeah, that's true. But all in all, I've enjoyed the discussion, and I think we've learned a lot from each other, and hopefully you guys have learned a lot as well about the role of parents in deciding, guiding their kids, pushing them in the right direction, and the difference between overstepping and just being a guide. Helicopter parenting, and just being like a good, healthy guide into what a child should do in the future. Thank you guys very much for watching the podcast. We really appreciate you. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Be sure to follow on all the socials. Sure to follow on all the socials, and yeah.